I'm not sure I've got any NRG left for this video. It's terrible, I know, but it's the best I could do with, because I am lacking in NRG, as they are, because they lost 2-0 to MIBR. And when you think of FNS-led teams, you think of some crazy attack round calling. Well, it led to this on Haven. They didn't win a single attacking round, despite the fact that they were playing double duelist. So why was that the case? Well, let's take a look at a couple of rounds, and we'll start with the pistol round here. And what you're going to find in quite a few of these rounds is what happens in this one, basically, where, okay, MIBR are going to catch NRG out on kind of this initial plan here, where they go for this kind of, mid-push, and we end up going 2-for-1 there in favor of MIBR. So we're in a 3v4, but NRG then, and FNS, to his credit, they do a good job, right? They do a good job of kind of finding a gap, pressuring one side, coming back. You're then going to see, as we kind of skip this on ahead, that Som and Mata, they're going to go towards the B site. FNS is going to come over towards C. So we've kind of pressured towards A. We got the rotates from MIBR. Then we're going to pressure in towards B just here, you see. So we get, like, kind of, a bit of spam just there. We got smoke. We got Omen Paranoid. Makes it look like a B hit, and then we pivot through Garage into C instead, right? And you're going to see in this video, there's quite a few of these rounds where NRG end up, getting the spike down on a relatively free site, in which case you might say, well, that's FNS doing its job. However, this was the part that they struggled with, is when they got the spike down, it did not go very well.
And you have the salvos for Verno. Looking good for MIBR right now.
FNS is ahead of it here. Quick course correction for Aspas, keeps him safe, and then Som dives deep. MIBR overwhelm NRG, it's down to Mata. 44 points of health. And yeah, he hears a pitter-patter, a little feet getting out of that C site, and he realizes he is severely outnumbered. Aspas!
So let's talk about it. And in this, from when they are planting the spike, there are a couple mistakes. You would be like, well, there isn't even that much time to make that many mistakes, you would think. But no, there is a couple mistakes. One is Mata. Okay, Mata is just absolutely sacrificing his team to the wolves. This is an... to be frank, it is just a terrible decision. It's a pistol round, right? You have to think on pistol rounds, you're not going to be, like, unlikely that if they come out of either of these choke points, that you're going to be able, or you're going to ask two players to just, like, do an unbelievable job at stalling them out. I mean, you've got no util here, right? So there's no util to stall them out whatsoever. So you're at this point, if you're Mata, like, you're asking, like, I mean, you're essentially playing a 2v4. Like, he is essentially, he's going to do this, he's essentially letting his team play a 2v4 by making this decision, right? And if he wanted to do this, right, if you were like, oh, well, you want to look B, well, then when we were coming back towards C and we thought that was maybe clear, we should have just stayed here, right? And maybe tried to pick someone off on the kind of the cross and then leave. Like, that's how you would play it in a 3v4, not like, I'm just going to make this a 2v4 on a pistol round where, getting, like, multi-kills maybe isn't going to be so easy. And then here, when FNS, when we start hearing them here, like, he's still in range to, like, come back and help and, have a crossfire here as well, right? Where, oh, we can, like, fight this from multiple angles. But no, he's off on his own mission and he's going and, like, maybe someone from MIBR comes down here and he meets him and he kills them. And you're like, oh, but what if that happens to TMV? Well, he still left these two in a 3v2. Right? Like, and he's, like, if he kills someone here and, like, these guys die, well, you still lost. And the round's over still. So you haven't, like, you're asking these two to create some severe delay in what is potentially a 2v4. And then you get kind of the second thing, which is FNS, takes the fight here, and now he's running back. Right, and this is the other problem that they get. Som is going to do this, and FNS is going to do that. And you never really want this to happen. Now, eventually, FNS does turn around and try and fight it, but it's probably a bit too late. I mean, like, so much he goes past him, and then he's looking at this. Whilst that's going on, Matters here. Like, so yeah. Obviously, not ideal, and NRG lose the round. Okay, now let's come to the anti-bonus round, round number 15. So in this one, they have the better guns than MIBR do. And in this one, NRG go for basically, I mean, when you're playing this comp, right, you're playing Yoru Jet, you should be doing this round a fair amount, which they're going to do, which is just go C, right? Just run it down C and just dive in onto that site, right? And so they don't feel enough pressure there to stop them. And so here we are again, right? Perfectly fine. We've all just run down C. This should be a pretty bog standard part of, what we're trying to do here. Now, Som did use a smoke just like here is kind of like almost like a threat of a TP. It's a strange idea, but we'll come back to that in a second. But again, NRG, they found a free site, 5v5, they've got better weapons. They should be able to win this one.
There via C-Long for quite some time, if at all. That is not in position for it.
Now they're going to be waiting for Aspas as well to rotate all the way over. He was playing pretty deep in A-long. Stealth drone going to get some information. Backside for Verno.
This util is getting a little bit thin for MIBR. They've got to actually do something with it. Or at least
get back in backside, but they just haven't found an actual timing window to do it. Psalm's playing in the dark cover. Wow, they have sniffed him out. He is in serious trouble.
He takes a little bit of damage. There's nothing to write home about now, but here come MIBR. Flood into the back of the side. It's already a ghost fighting purchase as Som. His head rolls. Beautiful stuff. Verno just steps up, takes the fight, and Mata has to make use of the recon there. What a bonus for MIBR!
Okay, so clearly NRG love the idea of this smoke, right? So here's them coming in onto the site, and you see that Som has put that smoke just there. And that means that he doesn't have a smoke for kind of the back site, as you see just here. And so, you know, but they get the spike down, so it's all fine, right? But I'm just showing you that he does that smoke, because when we get into the post plant, he's going to do that smoke, as you see again, right? So again, we've got no smokes here, right, at this point, but Som has got one back, right? He's got one smoke back. What's he gonna do? He's gonna put that same smoke down, and clearly this is something that they've talked about that they want to do, right? Because otherwise, why is he putting that smoke there multiple times? The problem with this is, what meta are NRG playing in? They must be playing a different game to most other teams, because you might have heard of this agent called Teo. And you might know about this ability, the salvos. Because I think any reasonable team is just going to go, what the hell is this? There might be someone in it. Let's just put a salvo there. Like, any team is going to do that who's playing Teo. Like, surely, right? They've just aftershocked this MIBR. They've seen that no one's there. There's this random smoke. Like, this is the worst game. It's like Som is playing hide and seek. It's like playing hide and seek against a toddler. You know, they've just ran to the first place that they could hide, and you've checked it, and they're there. That's what this is. Right? Like, oh, I wonder where Som's got to, you know, said MIBR. Oh, I wonder if he could be on the only smoke on the site. So then he dies. And then, obviously, now we're relying kind of on the spams. And obviously, these rounds can go very back and forth. You know, I mean, so they're a bit random, let's be real. You know, but obviously, MIBR have some very good aimers. So, guess what? The team with the very good aimers won out. So then let's skip ahead to the next buy round, which is round number 17. And again, NRG, like, the start of these rounds, in terms of, you know, like, getting to the site, they do a good job. Like, you know, there isn't, like... It's not all bad. It was just kind of the last part of these rounds that ended up kind of, you know, really, really costing them this attack side. Because, again, they create some pressure over towards A, right? They take this space with the Yoru TP back, and now, again, they're going to just go for the C hit, which, again, is what you should be doing with this comp, right? This should be your bread and butter. Okay, you see Aspas just there with the op, right? We reveal him. Now we're going to go for a dash in. We're going to go for the Yoru TP in with the flash. Really well done, right? Now in comes the trade, right? So now you've got Cortesia trying to flood in to trade Ethan just here, but Matter is there dashing up with him, right? That's the whole point of this comp, is that we're going to have two players here. So when you flood back in, we can trade you out. 4v3, we take the site. We're in a great spot, right? Again, there is absolutely... What they just did was really quite good, and I like it. But again, they're going to lose this post plant.
The gate crash.
Yeah, perfect textbook. They keep it simple, execute well, but Artin wants to throw it all the way for them.
It doesn't seem to matter. Ethan has to come alive in this position, and Artazine slaps him down. This IGL, taking matters into his own hands.
So this one is quite strange, to be honest, because it almost looks like NRG, it's like they get just taken over by the speed that MIBR are here, right? So there's the kill. We've just resumed like where the kill is coming in, but it's almost like, I don't know, right? It's a strange one. So they stun, they salvo, you know, and the smoke fades at a bad time for them, right? So if I come back to like when they're stunning, this smoke is gonna fade at, you know, just as MIBR are coming around this corner. But like they've stunned and they've salvoed, right? Like you would think like we would be ready, you know, to kind of fight this, because yeah, they stunned and they salvoed, right? Like that's gonna often be an indicator that they are on their way. We get this dart in here. And we've kind of got, you know, 2 for 2 here, but Brock is stunned. And FNS, this angle, when there's no smoke here, I mean, as we see, he's just out in the open. right? So I guess he thinks that his teammates have got him here. But, I mean, he ends up looking a bit lost there. And now all of a sudden we're in a 2v3. Ethan didn't try and swing to kind of trade it out. You know, he still looks like he's playing for contact. And then he dies. And then there's no... I mean, then it's just over, right? So, again, just another kind of disaster post-plan there for NRG. But again, we can skip ahead to the very next round. Where, again, NRG, this idea isn't going to go perfectly to plan. You're going to see they're going to go for a Yoruwalt play. You know, that ends up coming towards the A site, and Ethan's going to end up in a bit of a strange situation where he sees 4 people floating across there. He's then going to come out of his ult, right? And you're like, oh, what's going on? But then he just TPs away. And because they saw 4 people there, and they know that they're all floating across, and the Cypher was there as well, NRG decide, well, let's just go to the other side of the map and beat them there, right? We've got an Omen ult as well, so someone's going to TP across to C. And we're just going to hop on out of there, right? And again, this is perfectly fine, right? You now have the C site. You now, have a player there already. So, MIBR probably aren't going to just be sprinting into some, knowing that the rest of his team is there. But now MIBR, of course, they've got eyes and ears. They know what's going on. And so again, whilst we have ended up on a site where, we could get the spike down here again, it's not going to go NRG's way.
Maybe this is where he can come to life as the Armageddon is coming through. A retake flooding in.
Tom has to move. He's having a sidestep there out of that. Mata is going to be back to back with him. Ethan for 1. There's 3 players. They might be grouped up inside the smoke, and Brock is able to take down the emergent ones. Artazine and Shannon both fall. It's even now, numbers-wise, but MIBR are no further onto the site than they started. The silver lining, there's no plant yet.
Inferno's still just waiting to use those salvos. There's no plant because Brock doesn't want to commit just yet. Cortesia, he's too sharp. He is the Brazilian headshot machine.
What is he supposed to do here?
And this is where Brock thrives. He is known to be a clutch demon.
2 kills for the round already for Brock. He's Cortesia low. 31 health. Inferno has to finish the job.
So again, this one is perhaps a bit more excusable because it is just kind of, maybe one of those rounds. It's kind of strange how, no one kind of dies to this spam, but when this tail ult comes in, it's chaotic, it's messy, there's flashes going about. Like how no one dies in all this, it's like, what? And we end up going back and forth, and there's reloads going on, and it's crazy, and it's messy, and we end up in a 2v2, right? And maybe you would say, like, okay, that's fair enough. But by the way, whilst all this is going on, FNS has tried to, go for this play through Garage. Cortesia is reading it, so good job by MIBR there. And you might just say like, oh, this is just kind of one of those messy, crazy rounds, right? But then really the thing again here is like, okay, you're in a 2v2, you're getting Cypher ulted, you don't have the spike down yet, right? This next part where we just get Ethan dying to Cortesia, I mean, this is the part that's going to cost them the round, right? The separation of these two, it's kind of like a half-hearted attempt, like, oh, do we push this? We've seen the salvos go here, so we probably should push this, but it's like, maybe not quite on the same page of how exactly we want to do that. Brock has a dart, right? And we're slightly off, and that's all that Cortesia needs to, make this a 2v1, and then obviously you're fighting uphill, and eventually Brock dies, not quite knowing exactly where Verno is coming from, and perhaps already thinks that he's flooded out when he hasn't, and so, yeah, unlucky. And again, we come to the very next round, which was the last round, and guess what's going to happen? They're going to go for this big C exec again, and again, no one's going to be home. Right, so again, we're going to end up on a free site, post-plant again. Now this time, MIBR have this breach ult, but NRG do a good job here as well, right? They see where a breach stun just comes from there, and then they all group up, and they're going to push CT, right? So again, we've got this surprise factor. They're going to completely avoid this breach ult, right? So look, they've completely avoided the breach ult. Literally no one got hit by it. They're also going to Sova ult this as well. So we're Sova ulting down here. We've avoided the breach ult. We couldn't be in a better spot considering the circumstances. And yet still, it goes terribly wrong.
Right in that corner. MIBR can play off of that.
Early rolling thunder coming through. Oh, what a shot. NRG, they want to fight them before that ult could come in.
Cortesia just descends. Aspas with the shorty got involved, and now he's working the backside. 3 left here for NRG, and MIBR still chomping at the bit to get their hands dirty. Mata falls, Senum's able to find him, and now all from backside they emerge, and not even FNS.